Linda! I'm sorry that this is so sudden, but I have to tell you that for a little while I don't think I'll be coming back to you.
What's going on, Connor? Did something bad happen?
I just received a call. My mom got punched in the head and is on her way to the ER right now because of it.
What? She got into a fight then? Do you need me to come there as well to be with you all?
No, you should stay home. For the time being, just me being there with my mom will be fine. I'm worried that if the man that attacked her hasn't been caught yet, he might come looking for her again, and I don't want you to be a part of that. I'm still not even sure what'll happen and why, but until I know what's all going on, I'd like to avoid having you get wrapped up in this at all costs.
That's a good point. Right now we shouldn't be trying to add any more worries to what's already on our plates.
I'm going to start hitting there now. Until things calm down, I'm not sure I'll be able to talk with you much, so can you just wait on me to contact you?
Sure, I understand. Please be careful, and I hope things go well with your mom. Linda, how have things been going? Huh? Are you taking good care of yourself? Is this really you right now, Jody? That's right, this is Jody. What? Are you really Jody, though? Yes, this is in fact your mother-in-law, Jody. Really? Linda, what's going on with you right now? I'm sure that it might come to you as a surprise that I ended up leaving that old house of mine and moving into a newer place, but... Huh? But I didn't even mention anything about that yet to you, and right now I was planning on talking to you about something completely different. Okay? Jody, are you planning on coming over to our place first? Yes! I just got off the bus a little bit ago, and am starting to get on the local bus now to come over to your guys' place. Then, that must mean... You've been on that last bus for around 3 hours, since that's how long it takes to get from your old house all the way to the main bus depot. Right? You're right, it's been about 3 hours so far. But actually, I was wondering if you could just come and pick me up from here so that I don't have to wait for the local bus to come by? That's why I'm texting you right now. Well, it seems that you might be too busy to come and get me then. Well, if you and Connor are too busy to see me and have me over, then I'll just get myself a hotel and travel around town a bit before going to my new place. You won't even have to worry about me, because I'm totally okay with that as well. No, I don't mind you coming over to our house to stay for a little while. But actually, I was just told a little bit ago that you hurt your head really badly and that you were on your way to the ER to have that treated. Huh? I hurt my head? And I'm supposed to be going to the ER right now? Yeah, and I was told that you were unconscious. No way! Right now I'm feeling like I'm on top of the world. Can you tell me who it was that was telling you a lie like that? Your son told me that. Huh? And I'm telling you that he told me all of this just minutes ago. He made it pretty clear to me that he was going to be heading over to the hospital to go and see you. Wait! He has no clue that I'm no longer at that old house right now, out in the countryside? Well, he probably doesn't know that yet. Then what the hell is going on with him? For the time being, I'm going to drive out to that bus depot to come and pick you up. Then you and I can talk more about all of this in person. Good idea. That way it'll be a whole lot easier for me to understand what's going on here. Can you wait for me across the street at that old bookstore so that I can pick you up a lot more easily? Sure thing. And thank you for coming to get me. I'll talk to you soon then.
Linda, I'm sorry that I'm only just talking to you now after so much time has passed, but I wanted to make sure that things were okay here before I started to update you on what all has happened and what'll happen next.
I hope you're doing okay there, Connor. So, can you tell me what's all been going on?
Thankfully, Mom is back to being fully conscious and is able to keep her eyes open. But since she took such a blow to her head and it's not looking too great, she's going to stay in the hospital for a while the doctors run some tests on her.
Well, you did tell me that she got punched in the head, so I don't blame them for wanting to run all kinds of tests on her.
Also, it seems that nobody knows about who the perpetrator is and where they're at. Right now, Mom's head, it's all wrapped in bandages and she keeps moaning in pain due to how bad the punch was. I really want to know who the hell did this to her and why they did it. When I find out who they are, I'm not going to let them get off so easy.
Are you still okay with me staying at home and not coming to the hospital to see you and your mom? I feel that it'd be the right thing for me to do, coming there to see you and your mom and hopefully help the two of you relax some.
No, you don't have to worry about coming here yet. I told you that they haven't found the person that's done this to her yet, and so it's too dangerous for you.
Right. Understood.
Linda, I found out that even after my mom gets out of here, I'm going to have to stick around to take care of her, so I won't be back home for a little while longer. I'm going to be here for as long as my mom needs me, okay?
What are you going to do about your job?
My job will be fine. I'm able to do my job remotely for a while, and my boss has given me the go-ahead on that.
Is that so? All right, then.
Seriously, the person that did this to her is in for it when he gets found. I'm still here in the hospital now, but seeing her in such pain after an attack like that makes me so angry.
Hey, Connor, right now your mom is in the middle of singing at karaoke with me.
Huh? There's no way. How would my mom ever be able to do karaoke after she was just punched in the head a day ago? Why would you even say something like that in the first place to me?
And I'd like to ask the same of you, Connor. Why are you saying all these things about your mom to me? Because at the moment, she's here with me singing karaoke. She is literally sitting right next to me in this booth.
Huh?
We both came to this karaoke joint together and rented out a booth for the next couple of hours.
The two of you are together?
Yep. Your mom and I. She told me that she really doesn't have a reason for it, but she wanted to swing by and hang out with us for a few days, and that's why her and I are out singing right now. And since I went to the bus depot to get her in my car, we decided to hit up the karaoke joint here in town to sing since it's been ages since the last time. But I'd like to know, why have you been telling me that your mom got punched in the head and that you needed to go to the hospital to go see her? And now that you are expecting to go back home with her when she gets out of there to care for her.
No, wait. Huh? Are you being serious with me?
Well, if her being here with me means anything to you to support just how serious I'm being, then you probably don't need to be asking me that question.
So you really are being serious then?
After hearing about what you've been telling me about your mom, she decided to call her neighbor to ask them if anyone has been by her house since she left. And they said they haven't seen a soul there. And if this had all been happening in her hometown, out in that very small town, then people would have heard about the incident happening. However, when she asked if her neighbor knew anything about someone getting punched, they said they never heard anything about an incident like that. So as of right now, it seems that nobody has been punched, at least not in your mom's hometown.
Hey, why have all your things just vanished from the house?
Huh? So you finally made it back to the house? I'm glad that I was able to get that moving truck to the house as soon as I could before you made it home then.
Huh? Moving truck?
I never knew about your mom coming out to our house beforehand, but I am glad that she did. Because if it weren't for her help getting all my things out of that place, then I'd probably still be there and having to deal with you in person.
What the heck? That's not the answer I was looking for.
Well, listen to this, Connor. Everything you've been trying to hide from me has been uncovered.
Huh?
Ever since this morning, you've been out in Hudsonville at that spa resort, right? And you are there right now with that one part-time girl from your work, right?
So you actually figured out what's been going on?
From the start of all of this, I began to doubt what you were saying and suspected that you might be cheating on me. So I asked for some help in looking into what you've been up to.
Huh? You're kidding.
And it's because of all the other times before that I've been able to tell you're not so good at lying. Actually, you're awful at it. But of course it did help that this time your mom decided to come out to our house without asking first, as that information from her came to me right after you told me she was going to the ER for being punched in the head. So that was the one thing I needed to confirm that you were lying to me about something and that I needed to find out what it was. But even if she hadn't come down to see us, there would have still been a problem with your story. Had she really been punched in the head, wouldn't the police be notified about it and be on the move to try and find a suspect to the crime?
The police?
In other words, what I'm trying to say is that your lie was awful, and I would have been able to see past it sooner or later. But luckily, I had your mom here with me, and she was able to check with all her friends to see if something like you told me had really happened in town. Well, anyway, I made sure to have all of this confirmed for sure by asking someone to investigate a little further into what exactly was going on with you. And of course, they started by seeing where you'd driven off to, and that led them to Hudsonville, where you're located now.
So you've been working against me?
Well, it's not like I had reason to trust you after you lied about your mother. And thankfully, you ended up extending your stay at that resort because the investigator told me your original stay was only for one night and that you would have been gone by the time they got to the resort. Well, I'm really glad that this all worked out for me and your mom in the end, as right now we're both with one another talking about what to do next about you.
So you really did figure everything out about what I've been doing.
Connor!
Oh crap, it's you!
It's one thing to be cheating on your wife and all that, but to lie about me and my health as well as about you coming back to my house just so that you could cheat? After all these lies, I feel that both Linda and I should be done with your butt. What the actual hell were you thinking, lying about me again and again so that you could make Linda think everything was very serious, when in reality all you were trying to do was buy yourself some more time to stay out with that girl? I am absolutely fed up with your crap, you idiot!
What's going on? Aren't you supposed to be on the side of your son in all this?
Listen up, you dunce!
Huh?
You've been stabbing that wonderful wife of yours in the back multiple times now. Well, I don't ever remember raising such a terrible man like you in my life, and I will not let you continue like that.
Terrible man? Well, listen to this, Mom. Why are you teaming up with my wife to both go after and harass me about something as simple as this?
Huh?
I cannot believe what I'm seeing right now.
What the hell do you want me to say about this, Connor? Do you think that after doing all of this, your wife and I would just let you go on with things as though you didn't just hurt two people?
Huh?
I get that this may be a surprise to you, that we are acting so close now, but the two of us have been with one another a lot longer than you think. After all, her and I play online games with each other quite a bit.
Huh? You both play games online with each other?
I've always loved playing video games for a long time, and you should know about that, right? Well, your dad and I used to play together a lot when he was still around, but when he passed away, I was left playing games all by myself with you never being that interested. But when I heard from Linda that she liked to play video games as well, especially the same games that I like to, we started to play online with one another and make parties and all that. And after doing that together for a long time, we've grown to become more than just mother and daughter. We're more like close friends that are willing to help one another out when needed.
I never knew anything about this.
And we know that. But now that you see her and I are best friends, it's pretty obvious why her and I have teamed up on you after you cheated on and lied to her. And if she plans on divorcing you because of this, then I'm going to continue to support what she wants until she gets it.
But Mom, that's... Linda, I just sent you the money that you asked for in the settlement. I'm assuming it's in your account now?
It is. I just got a call from my lawyer a second ago telling me about it. And as for the girl you were cheating on me with, she sent me the amount I had asked her for yesterday, and in one whole payment. I'm on my way right now to the city hall to hand in our divorce papers, so after this it'll all be over between us.
Hey, do you have any idea where my mom ran off to? Ever since you said you'd be divorcing me, she moved out of her house and is no longer around anymore. And as for the house that you and I have been living in together, I'll have to leave it since the place is under your name. So I tried to go back to the house she left behind, and there was a note there that she left for me. And in that note it says she's going to sell the place soon and that I need to be out of here by the end of the week or else the police will be called on me. I haven't even been able to get in touch with her since then, and so I can't tell where she is now.
Well, she's still coming online every now and then to play games with me.
Wait, really?
But she's told me that she's not going to tell anyone, not even me, the new address that she has, and won't be telling anyone for a while yet. So you won't be getting an answer from me.
Is that so? Then, can you at least tell my mom something for me?
Stop it. She told me that she no longer wants to talk to you anymore, so anything you have to say to her will not be heard.
Alright then.
Now, I'm guessing that's it for us now?
Linda?
I really want to start driving to the city office to hand in the divorce papers.
Alright.
Goodbye forever now, Connor. After what had happened, Connor ended up changing jobs and leaving his previous company. To tell you the truth, he ended up not getting the promotion he was expecting to get, and that's what drove him to leave. And actually, he wasn't ever given permission to work remotely in the first place, and so he was demoted instead of promoted after that. And when it comes to that girl that he cheated on me with from his job, she wasn't in for a good time either, as she soon learned about the lie he told to be able to go on vacation with her. And just a little while after, the story of how he lied about his mom's health so that he could cheat on me spread around the town and really ruined both of their reputations. But this wasn't even close to the end. And this story soon spread to that girl's husband as well, and he went out to find where Connor changed jobs to, and when he found him, he explained to Connor's manager what happened. This then led to him being fired from that job and completely moving out of the city into a small apartment out somewhere in the countryside to hide from all that was going on. Right now, he's working on a farm doing laborious work to try and make up the money needed to pay off the settlement to his one secret girl's husband. And I'm sure that since his bank accounts are bone dry, it'll be a long time before he's able to break free from all this. Thank you for watching and listening. We hope you enjoyed the video. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe. Also, feel free to leave a comment about what you thought of the story. We look forward to seeing you at the next story. Oh, hey there. Good morning, Monica. Are you going to work in those worn-out old rags that look like a 20-year-old present from your grandma again today, you broke loser? Hey, Roxanne. I'm pretty sure my clothes fall under office casual, and they're definitely not worn out. Anyway, what do the clothes I choose to wear to work have to do with you? It's not like I'm causing you any problems. Oh dear, what a shame. I see you still have precisely zero self-awareness. Your very existence is a problem when you go to work looking homeless every day, dear. How am I a problem? You walk around the neighborhood dressed like a broke loser, radiating the intolerable stench of poverty. Every time I walk past you, I have to pinch my nose. If I'm not careful, I could become poor like you just by being in your vicinity. It really is time you learn to have a little self-awareness, dear. If you don't get on top of your stench soon, the entire neighborhood will be wearing nose plugs. I have no idea what makes you think I'm a broke loser who radiates the smell of poverty. But me and my family really don't struggle with money as much as you seem to think we do. Are you joking? I've seen your house, dear. You're nothing but a broke part-time housewife who lives in a shabby, run-down ground floor apartment in the rough part of town. Excuse me? You obviously had no choice but to live there because the rent is dirt cheap and you couldn't afford anywhere more respectable. The place is so beat up, I wouldn't be surprised if the roof leaked every time it rained. You must have to walk around on your tiptoes to avoid the 200-year-old floor creaking. You seem to be making a bunch of huge misunderstandings here, Roxanne. I don't know why you think I work part-time, but I don't. As for the apartment, it was fully renovated 5 years ago. Nothing in there is 200 years old. Huh? It originally belonged to my husband's parents. He inherited it when his dad passed away 5 years back. His mom, who still lives with us now, suffered a fall and hurt her leg not too long afterwards, which ended up with her having to live in a wheelchair. So we had it reformed into a barrier-free, one-story bungalow to make her life there as easy and stress-free as possible. Around the same time, my husband also bought the house next door, which had been vacant for years, then had the connecting wall demolished to almost double the floor space. Even despite all that, buying the house, hiring the builders, paying for the materials, insuring the place, having wheelchair access facilities fitted, we still never struggled for cash. Wow. Basically, because you went on a foolishly irresponsible spending spree that was well beyond what you could afford, you're now a broke loser groveling around in the depths of soul-crushing poverty and despair. I guess everyone's definitions for poverty are probably different, but at least from where I'm standing, I don't feel like we're poor. That's only because you're too poor to have ever known what it's like to possess large amounts of money, my dear. I knew it. Without the sagely advice of someone highly respected, loved, and accomplished like myself, the wife of a CEO, you're not even capable of making even the bare minimum of decisions required to get by in life. You really are the most tragic human being I've ever met. You'll have to excuse me, but I have work soon, so I'm gonna have to head off. It's okay, dear, I understand. You'll get fired if you don't do as your boss tells you. I get it. It must really suck to be poor. But, Monica, really, I do at least think you should make the effort not to let your poor coworkers catch wind of the foul stench of your poverty. Everyone will be too grossed out to work, and productivity will be down across the board. Oh, that reminds me. Me and the other moms from kindergarten are throwing a New Year's party this Saturday. It'll be held at my apartment. You know, the top floor apartment of the luxury apartment building overlooking the river on 5th Street. But of course, no broke losers will be invited. I can't wait to look down on your pathetic papier-mâché cockroach den from the balcony of my luxury apartment while we sip our $10,000 champagne. We'll be so high up above you, your pitiful excuse of an apartment will look like nothing more than a piece of garbage. Oh, did I tell you our $10,000 champagne will contain specks of gold dust? I know you couldn't possibly imagine what it's like to indulge in such sophisticated extravagance, but hopefully these messages aren't making you too jealous. Oh, of course, if you're absolutely desperate to come to my New Year's party and find out how the chosen few live, you need to get rid of that stench of poverty you radiate by moving up in the world until you make at least $100K a year. Only then will I consider sending you an invite. What on earth do you think you're playing at, Monica? Why would you come to my New Year's party? I made it very clear you weren't welcome. Why would you go out of the way to bug me over messages when we're at the same party? If you have a problem with me, come and say it to my face, Roxanne. That doesn't answer my question. What does a poverty-stricken loser like you think she's doing at a party of a CEO's wife? Anyway, what gives you the right to let yourself into my apartment like this? The roof of this building is a sacred place for the upper crust of society, life's winners like me. Poor people don't belong here, and you're not welcome. Think you had the nerve to bring your husband with you, too. I have no idea how you managed to get past security. But I'd rather you didn't stink out my luxury apartment with the rotten stench of your poverty. I'm going to have to spray some air freshener because of you. What a surprise that was! I genuinely have no idea how a broke loser like you ended up getting into my invite-only party, or what made you think you had the right to come in the first place, for that matter. I made it very clear you were only to come if you made more than $100K a year. That didn't give you any right to pour a bottle of champagne over my head. You unlawfully entered my apartment and you paid the price. I didn't do anything wrong. I was merely defending my property. Besides, I poured that bottle of champagne over your head out of kindness. Kindness? I figured if I could drench you in champagne, it might help get rid of the stench of poverty that follows you around wherever you go. But thanks to your illegal entry into my apartment, my luxury top-of-the-range Persian rug is covered in champagne now. I'll have you know that rug cost $7,000. If you don't compensate me for the damage you've done, I'll be forced to take extreme measures. Obviously, this should go without saying, but a cleaning won't do it. You've ruined the fabric forever, so you need to buy me a brand new rug. I know $7,000 probably amounts to a year's wages for the likes of a broke depth groveler like yourself. And I wouldn't be surprised if you even had to move out of your cockroach-infested apartment and live on the streets to come up with the money, but you should have thought about that before you spoiled my rug. Listen to me, Roxanne. You don't seem to be aware of this, but it was your husband who invited me and my husband. Huh? Initially, we were only supposed to be paying him a visit in his office on the second floor to make a few inquiries. But when we arrived, he told us he had some urgent business to attend to and apologetically invited us to wait for an hour upstairs in your apartment. He appeared to know that me and you are kindergarten acquaintances, so I guess he figured it'd make sense to invite me to your New Year's party to kill some time while he dealt with whatever stuff he had going on. He came up with us in the elevator, let us in, and showed us to the living room before disappearing off somewhere in a hurry. Huh? But what reason could you and your husband possibly have for visiting my husband's company? Your husband said he'd be messaging you about that. Huh? Haven't you heard anything from him? I don't know, maybe in a message or an email? Well, hold on, let me check. Oh my god! What in the Lord's name is happening? Monica, you're the president of my husband's company's biggest client company? What in the hell? How haven't I heard about this before? That's not all. What the hell are you doing living in a tiny ground floor apartment with a job like that? I thought you were broke. Excuse me? Let me get this straight. You thought I was poor because I live in a ground floor apartment? Who lives in ground floor apartments apart from broke losers? Everyone knows celebrities and successful people live on the top floor so they can look down on the peasants. Ah, I see. So that's why you went out of your way to get an apartment on the top floor, huh? Because in your mind, being that high up is the ultimate form of status symbol? What, are you saying it's not a status symbol? Of course, everyone's free to have their own ideas about the world. But I personally don't see any link between the altitude of someone's house and their value as a human being. And if I'm honest, I think that's a very shallow and superficial way of looking at the world. What the heck are you talking about? I did tell you this before, but my mother-in-law lives with me and my husband. She lives in a wheelchair, so it was a must that our place not have any stairs. That's why we bought the vacant house next door, had the second floors of both houses demolished, and had it converted into a big, spacious, barrier-free bungalow. Anyway, haven't you heard? Bungalows are in fashion these days. All the celebs and successful people are buying them. Oh my god, are they really? Hey, what's this crap I'm hearing about you terminating your contract with my husband's company? I take it your husband explained the situation to you then? My contract with your husband's company is terminated with immediate effect. Oh my god, I can't believe you're doing this just because I poured a bottle of champagne over your head as a joke. You have no right to drag my husband into this. This crosses the line. No way. Do you think that's the only reason I'm doing this? Huh? But my husband just called. He was furious. He said this was all happening because of my rude attitude at the New Year's party, and that I had to apologize to you immediately. Listen, Roxanne, I'm not going to pretend you pouring a bottle of champagne over my head in front of everyone at your New Year's party has nothing to do with the contract termination. You mean there's another reason? I don't know how your husband explained it to you, but the reason me and my husband visited your husband's office on the second floor was to notify him we were terminating the contract. It was already decided at that point. What? I don't know how much of this I should tell you, since as far as I'm aware, you don't have anything to do with the management of your husband's company. But to summarize, I got sick of his failure to meet deadlines, the constant issues with quality when shipments did arrive, and not to mention the horrendous attitude his employees gave me when I tried raising the issues with them. He and his company have been impossible to work with these last 6 months, and it reached the point where I simply couldn't overlook it anymore because it was interfering with our ability to provide quality to our customers. If I'd let it continue, I am almost certain it would have had knock-on effects for our reputation and revenues. After lengthy discussions with my husband, who's responsible for client meetings, and other executives within our company, I decided we had no choice but to terminate the contract. To be honest, I had already made up my mind, but there was a small chance I'd have been willing to negotiate with your husband if he showed sincerity in wanting to improve. Until you poured champagne over my head, that is. With that, I resolved to wash my hands of the both of you for good. Oh my god, wait, hang on a second. No way. Oh, surely all this stuff with my husband is just business. Why throw away our friendship too? Now I know you're rich and successful, and that me and you are on the same level, we can grow closer than ever before. The same level as you? I get that you might be upset with my husband's company, but why throw away a friendship in the process? It seems like such a waste. Won't you rethink this, please, Monica? I can't say I was ever the type to link people's value as human beings to how much money they have, but I know that you take great pleasure in it. Which is why you should know that once your husband loses this contract, which accounts for over 80% of his sales, the future of his company probably isn't gonna look so bright. What? I advise you to consider the implications of that before talking to him. Monica! Could you please lend me some money? Say what now? I'm sure you've already heard, but my husband's company went bankrupt. Yeah, I may have heard a thing or two about that. Well, this means we're not going to be able to carry on living in this luxury high-rise apartment. You mean you're not going to be able to keep up with the rent? Yes. My husband's unemployed after his company went bankrupt, so he has to start from scratch and find a new job. Which is why I'd really appreciate if you could lend me just enough to cover the rent on this apartment. How about you just move somewhere more appropriate for your level of income instead of begging for money? Your husband's parents are looking after your son right now, right? So you either need to ask really nicely and hope one of your parents will let you move in with them until you get back on your feet. Or if that doesn't work out, find a new job with a company that provides employee accommodation. No, I can't do that. Me? Work a job? Oh my God. It's not right that a woman of my status should have to associate with the peasants and work a normal person job. My status demands that I live on the top floor. Sure, I might have lost my title as CEO's wife, but that's just all the more reason I can't afford to lose this high-rise apartment. Listen, Roxanne, the thing is... You're going to lend me some money? Have you taken a shower lately? Huh? Do you wash your clothes? What the hell kind of questions are these? A close friend of mine lives in the same apartment block as you. But she told me that every time she walks past the housewife from the top floor, she has to hold her nose because she smells so bad. She said she gets the impression you're trying to cover up the smell by drenching your entire body in perfume. She says the smell resembles something like a mixture of your natural body odor and something that can only be described as not belonging to this world. Oh my God, do I smell that bad? Yes, you really smell that bad. Apparently the smell is so awful that the company managing the apartments are currently in the process of writing up their claim against you because of the distress your stench is causing the rest of the residents. No, it's not me. They're mistaking me for someone else. That's funny, because when I asked her for your room number, she gave me yours. No, there has to be some kind of mistake. I really think you should do something about this, Roxanne, and sooner rather than later. No, I do not smell! I did wonder for a second whether the culprit behind the rotten stench might be Roxanne's husband, but it turned out that by that point, he'd already moved back in with his parents who lived 10 minutes away, which meant that the only one left behind in that foul-smelling room was Roxanne, all alone and with nothing left but her wounded pride. As for why the place smelled so bad, I found out later that the utilities got cut as a result of their failure to pay the rent, which in the middle of the summer in a place this hot is never going to end well. Even in spite of that, Roxanne, whose sense of self-esteem seemed entirely dependent on her living on the top floor of a luxury apartment block, defiantly stayed behind for a short while despite receiving several eviction notices. Eventually, though, she lost her nerve and moved out. I don't know whether it was because of the constant complaints from the neighbors, but they must have been elated when they found out she was gone. With that, she moved in with her husband and his parents. In desperate need of cash, she was forced to get a part-time job at a nearby supermarket, which is where she now spends her days doing the bare minimum of work to get by while riddled with chronic self-esteem issues due to her intolerably putrescent body odor. Thanks for watching, folks! We hope you enjoyed the video. Don't forget to prove what a boss you are by liking and subscribing. Also, feel free to leave a comment about what you thought of the story. We can't wait to see you again next time.